The Conjuring franchise has been a major box office success, even with its ups and downs. No matter the quality of the films, it consistently managed to draw audiences to theaters. Despite my growing frustration with recent entries in this universe, The Conjuring Last Rites was still one of my most anticipated films of the year. Sadly, it turned out to be one of the biggest disappointments. Let's start with the usual gimmick, the based on a true story tagline. This claim has been increasingly frustrating, especially considering that many of the supposed real life cases the franchise draws from have already been thoroughly debunked. You can't show dogs flying, furniture levitating, and demonic mirrors wreaking havoc and still expect audiences to believe this is rooted in reality, especially when scientific investigations have consistently challenged or dismissed the Warrens' claims. In this film, the central case is inspired by the alleged haunting of the Smurl family in Pennsylvania. In real life, the reported phenomena were limited to strange smells, some noises, and mattress being pushed. But the film dials everything up to 11 because, of course, it does. There is a demonic mirror, a serial killer like presence, and all the usual supernatural chaos. It's so over the top that it becomes difficult to take anything seriously. Just like in previous films, the exaggeration dilutes the horror. For context, even the infamous Annabelle doll was originally just a simple Raggedy Ann doll, not the terrifying Portland nightmare the films portray. So here's a suggestion. Stop claiming these are true stories. It adds nothing to the narrative and only undermines the credibility of the storytelling. Back to the movie itself. Last Rites focuses on Smurl family and more prominently the Warren's daughter Judy. And this is where the film really stumbles. None of the characters, especially the Smurls, are given enough screen time or development for us to care about them. Compare this with the Perron family from the original Conjuring film. Remember how we got to know them, their dynamics, their struggles? That emotional investment made the horror more impactful. In Last Rites, the Smurls are practically background characters. You'll likely forget their names by the time the credits roll. Instead, the film shifts its focus to Judy Warren and her budding romance. Honestly, I wouldn't have minded a more personal, character-driven story about the Warrens' family life if it was compelling. But here, the attempt to balance Judy's storyline with the central haunting fails on both fronts. It's neither emotionally engaging nor terrifying. Mia Tomlinson, who plays Judy, unfortunately doesn't bring the presence or emotional weight needed to carry large portion of the film. Her performance feels flat, and since much of the story revolves around her, the movie drags. The first half is particularly slow, focusing unnecessarily on Judy's romantic subplot with her boyfriend. Meanwhile, the actual haunting, supposedly the core of the film, is barely explored. We don't see the build-up of fear or tension in the Smurl household, and when the horror does kick in, it's too little, too late. The movie makes another misstep by leaning too heavily into family drama and romantic themes rather than actual horror. Whether it's the relationship between Judy and her boyfriend or the continued emphasis on Ed and Lorraine's bond, the film forgets what genre it belongs to. Horror fans come expecting to be scared, not to watch an underdeveloped teen romance. The pacing suffers greatly as a result. With almost nothing of consequence happening in the first hour, the film crawls along until the final 30 minutes. Even then, the payoff is underwhelming. The scares are few and far between, and the supposedly terrifying mirror, the main supernatural threat, is woefully underutilized. If you are looking for a truly creepy mirror-based horror film, you'd be better off watching Mirrors, which does a far better job of building dread and atmosphere. Now, it's not all bad. As always, Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga deliver solid performances as Ed and Lorraine Warren. They remain the heart and soul of this franchise, and they do their best with the material they are given. There are also a few fan service moments and Easter eggs sprinkled throughout, which longtime fans of the franchise may appreciate, but those brief highlights aren't enough to save the film from its structural and narrative weakness. In the end, The Conjuring Last Rites feels like a missed opportunity. It tries to be many things at once: an emotional family story, a teen romance, and a horror film, but fails to fully commit to any of them. The result is a sluggish, careless experience that lacks both emotional depth and a genuine terror. If you are a die-hard fan of the Conjuring universe, There may be just enough here to keep your interest, especially if you are invested in the Warren story. But for everyone else, I'd recommend skipping this one in theaters. It simply isn't worth the price of admission. So that was the video guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more such content. Thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day. Bye.